Hey everybody, it's Randy Elgin with Keller Williams Realty, the SA Realty Watch Group. I'm here with my friend Brady, and just going to do a real quick interview about his life and his resources, and we'll just get to it. So, Brady, tell me, what company are you with?
So I basically, we're captive right now with Nationwide Insurance. I do one insurance agency for myself, and starting by July 1st of next year, we're going to be completely independent as an agency.
Okay.
So Nationwide will be helping us, but we'll be able to offer a couple extra companies as well for our clients' needs.
And tell me a little bit about your life. Wife, kids, dogs, what do you got?
So right now, me and my wife, we have two dogs. We have a Corgi named Macy, she's 4, and then we have a miniature pinscher named Max, who's 3, and then we are working on kids to expand our family as we speak.
Oh, okay.
My wife's name's Kristen. She's a school teacher, works at a Country Day Montessori school over near Jung Road, near the airport, and she teaches basically elementary ed there. So she's been doing it for a couple of years and enjoys it. So.
How long have you been in the insurance business?
I've been doing insurance since 2011. So I started working with an agency that I still work with. We partner. It's the Wiswell Agency on the East Coast in Delaware. It serves the tri-state area, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Maryland.
Right.
Mainly Delaware where I was. We moved a couple offices up there, and then I decided to do it on my own and kind of do San Antonio. Picked the city, I loved it. Have family in Houston. My brother and sister lives there with my nieces.
Okay.
So that brought me there. I love Houston, but I like the outdoor atmosphere of San Antonio as well. So, and I've been doing this on my own for my agency since 2016.
So was there any kind of research into what San Antonio had to offer you in terms of insurance business versus Houston?
Well, as far as the city, I grew up in Houston until I was 7 or 8, and I visited every 6 months or so to see my family there.
Okay.
As far as San Antonio, I knew it was a growing city.
Okay.
My wife wanted to move too, so we moved from the East Coast. Her family, she's originally from Colorado, so it was a much closer area to be in Texas.
Sure.
We just decided, do we want to do Houston, do we want to do San Antonio? We decided on San Antonio just because it's a little bit drier. There's a lot of camping, outdoor activities that are a little bit easier to access. So that's what we kind of did. A lot more like fishing holes, things like that, as well as I basically told my wife, hey, you want to move here? There's 40 wineries close by. That's sort of, okay, that sounds good. Within an hour. So she really liked that. And we really like the atmosphere and how it's growing almost too fast.
Right.
But we enjoy it.
Yeah, a lot of people move because of their job. And so they don't really have any way of choosing where they want to go. You just kind of did the opposite. It's like, I can get a job selling insurance anywhere. Where do I want to be?
And I wanted, the thing was to be close to Houston, just because I have my brother and sister, their family's there, so that's nice. And I pretty much know the area too, so it's only a couple hours away.
Right.
I grew up a Cowboys fan, so that's a big thing too, is I kind of want to, and I like the Astros, go Astros, Game 7s tonight. But I grew up a big Cowboys, Texas sports fan, because I was from Houston, so that kept me, I want to move to this area. I'm not sure what part of Texas, but it's somewhere within these couple hours of Houston.
Okay.
San Antonio fit the bill as far as it was nice, up growing. And it's very family oriented. So me and my wife are like, we plan to start a family within a couple of years after getting married.
Right.
So let's pick this area because it seems to be good when we have young kids as well.
So when you came to San Antonio, is it safe to say that you really didn't know anybody?
I didn't know many. I'm meeting a lot more faces going out there. I didn't know really anybody here. I met one couple of the Slavs that still live here. He did Nationwide Insurance, and when I basically came down here, I didn't really know anybody. We met with my family in Houston a lot, so it was a big jump and a big risk.
Right. So without giving names, do you remember your first client here in San Antonio?
My first client, I don't remember the name, but I do remember basically they called in and they wanted a home and auto. So I was like, all right, let me get a quote for you. Let me give you a
Now, was this in your business specifically, Wyant Insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's my paperwork, stuff like that. I remember I can't remember the name offhand. She got her home and auto with us. I went over some details. She was really happy. Saved like, I think, $600 a year.
Okay.
And that right there is like, that's easy. Where are you at? Oh, I'm 5 minutes from your house. It's even better. So they really liked that. I felt really good, and I just appreciated it too. It was right off of Paul High School, right near our office, off of Petrenko in North Ellison.
So how did they find you? How did you get that
It was
first
actually,
client?
I believe it was a call-in. I think they found me on Google and they searched agents around me. They gave me a call and said, hey, what can you do? I said, let me
Okay.
get your information and call you back within 5 or 10 minutes. Walk it through my company, just go over the details together.
Yep.
See all the discounts I could put on there, and basically, hey, if you ever need me, it's my cell phone number directly. You're not worried about an 800 number.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's middle of the night and it's an emergency, you can. But if you need anything, just text me or call me. And she really liked that, and they're my clients since. So it
Okay.
works well.
Very good. So you basically beat out other people that are selling insurance because of the personality and the services, and it was very intimate because you're giving them your cell phone.
I would say so, yes. And it's still that way. It's my cell
Yeah.
phone. It can be a blessing and a curse, but at the same time, I love it. I love it. It can be after hours.
Right.
If it's a text, I'm always going to be able to answer. I'm a kind of person where I don't like to wait and put things off, which
Okay.
can be good or bad. But at the same time, is if somebody texts me and I can get the information within a couple minutes, it's done. I'll call you back and get it done.
Right.
So it's very personable. I can help them out. Whereas a lot of times people call, it's a service center. They're on hold for almost an hour sometimes, or I have to get a call back, and then their day gets
Right.
busy, and they just don't have time to take care of the issue, or I can do it right away. So.
Now, do you focus just on home and auto, or are there other avenues that you're looking to expand your business?
So I do home and auto. That's a specialty that I work on. Small business and commercial, actually, nationwide is #1. As of this morning, JD Power came out with, it's 2 years in a row, it's #1 for small business and commercial insurance.
Oh, okay.
So I want to expand into that as well. It's one of those things I'll build up. And at the end of December, I am taking my life and health exam.
Okay.
That way, within a month or so, hopefully by early next year, I'll be licensed as well in that. I can offer those products. And literally, hey, do you need insurance of any type? You give me a call. You don't have to say, hey, you know what, he only does these. All right, let me find somebody else for you. I want to be able to try to help him out and be knowledgeable in everything.
Right.
But home and auto is pretty much a specialty that I can do right now as well.
So one thing that I've learned in my life is that a lot of times we just have no idea what the right questions are.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody comes in and goes, oh, I need insurance, but they need some kind of specialty insurance. Maybe it's motorcycle or whatever the case is. What are the questions that people don't ask you that they should be asking you?
As far as for the insurance coverage or policies?
For whatever it is. They may come to you for auto and home,
Okay.
wanting to get the best deal, whatever
Okay.
that might be. But not every policy is the same when you're trying to compare apples to apples.
Exactly. So I think the coverage that you have to look over, I personally like it when somebody can get their documents together to look at it apples to apples.
Okay.
You got this coverage on your house. You only have $100,000 for personal liability. That's great and all, but if you get sued and somebody gets hurt real bad, $100,000 gets exhausted quickly.
Right.
I typically like to put $500,000 personal liability on homeowners policies,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty adequate enough for any kind of major injury or any kind of lawsuit.
Right.
I want people to ask the questions of, oh, that sounds great, let's do it. I like that. I like to help you out quickly, but I do want to see what you have now just to compare. Hey, you know what? We can adjust coverages. So I want to either match it or do better for you.
Right.
And then obviously the price, if it's cheaper, that's the way you want to go. Some people do want to sacrifice coverage for price and vice versa.
Right.
But I always give them those options, like, listen, this is a different price because of this, this, and this.
Right.
And then that way they know. So those are the things. Other questions that I have is anything really. If somebody wants to pick my brain on different topics for auto and home, small business, hey, if I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you in a half an hour once I do find out the exact answer for it. So that's what I like to do.
One of the questions that I've asked in the past is, okay, I don't have a loan on my car.
Okay.
What insurance don't I need?
So
why would I need that insurance that I don't necessarily need?
So when you take off a loan on a car, typically you don't owe the bank, which is great. That means you don't have a lien holder, and therefore you can do liability on the vehicle. When you do liability on the vehicle, you take off comprehensive and collision coverage. In doing so, it probably saves you about 20 to 50% less on your auto each month.
Okay.
I actually had that question, I guess it was Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. Somebody called, hey, it's a 2012 Nissan. I just paid off last month, but I want to drop it down to liability. What do you think? I said, well, look at the blue book value of it, because a lot of times they go off of that, that ballpark amount.
Right.
Do you think if you got in an accident, the vehicle is totaled, would you be happy with losing that much of an asset that you have? If it's $10,000, you may want to keep it for another year or two until it depreciates enough. If you do comp and collision, you may only pay an extra $10 a month, but we do, basically help cover out any kind of accident for any damages up to that amount through Blue Book, and maybe even higher. So it depends on how much your vehicle is worth. If anything, for a ballpark for me, I always say anything that's over 10 years old, you can always look at if it's paid off or owned outright. You should probably go down the liability because it's not going to be worth as much. Anything within 10 years, just look at the Blue Book value
Okay.
and go off of that.
So if the vehicle, I'm just going to use stupid numbers here. Let's say that the vehicle only has a Blue Book value of $3,000.
Okay.
And you get in an accident, whether it's your fault or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not going to get that value from the insurance company. So you could be okay with that because maybe you have $3,000 in the bank.
So that's the main difference. When you drop comp and collision, let's just say you save $20 to $30 a month. Just $30 a month is how much you save going down the liability.
Okay.
Times that by 12 months, that's $360. So let's just say you have 2 or 3 years it's on liability. That's $1,000 saved just off the insurance premium right there. That could go through your down payment, or if the vehicle's only worth $3,000, that's a third of the savings right there for the vehicle to replace.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not always a Blue Book value that they go off of, but at the same time is, hey, how bad would it hurt your pockets if you just lost this vehicle? You paid off, you're happy, it's a good situation. You're ecstatic because you're saving this money. Is it worth it, the $10 a month to keep the comp and collision on it if it costs this much to actually replace the vehicle that you own?
Right.
Which I really think is important, because a lot of people are like, oh, I paid off at the 2016. I'm like, yeah, but to me, if it's a 3 or 4 year old car, it's probably holding its value pretty well.
Probably.
So that's why I would go ahead and keep comp and collision on something that new.
I think it kind of like goes back to dieting. Oh, I want to lose weight or whatever the case is, and I'm just not going to go out to eat anymore. And that goes on for a week, and then they go, well, let's go out with our friends, right? And so that whole idea of saving the money to lose weight kind of goes out the window. I paid off my car. I don't need the liability now, even though the car's 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to save that money. But are we?
It depends, yeah, because what happens is you may have just saved a year's worth of premium for $300, but instead of having a $10,000 payout that, you have a small deductible of $500, and then they can write a check to help you, offset that price.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, that $300 you saved, you're like, well, I'm not getting any check.
Right.
So now, hopefully, I saved up a decent amount for a down payment on a car. And just talking about auto, cars average $30,000 to $50,000 brand new. Now they're not as cheap as they used to be even 5 years ago with the technology. So it's one of those things where how long will it take for me to make this savings on my cars to make up for a down payment if something does happen to my vehicle?
That's fantastic.
Which is really something people don't think about. And I wanted to help the lady. She was like, I want to just drop it to liability. I was like, okay, we can do that, but how much do you think the vehicle's worth? And I looked it up. I think it was like $9,000 or $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, by the way, the car's still worth this. So if you have a $500 deductible, we can cover up to something like that where we cut you a check to help you. $9,000 to $10,000 is substantial for a down payment on a new vehicle or any kind of used vehicle.
Right.
And she ended up thinking about it. She's gonna get back to me, I believe, Friday. And so it gave her something to think about, because I didn't want to snap judgment all of a sudden a month later.
Sure.
You lost your vehicle and you didn't have the coverage, because that's what you don't want to do.
So there's value there in having that consultation where it's like, what do you think, Brady, that I need to do based on what I have in the bank, how old the vehicle is, how much it's worth?
Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. Everything I say is advice.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, I'm going to do it for you, because that's what I do. I service your policy. If you want to ask me that, sure, this is what I would do in that situation, just based on looking at things. And usually people, it depends on their circumstances. I just lost my job. Every dollar counts. I can't think of having an accident right now. All right, let's go down on liability just to keep you insured so you can drive. Yeah. So I understand that situation, and sorry about the circumstance. Let me know what I can do. If we can go to the lowest, and then when you find a job, you're back on your feet, go back to what you're comfortable with, we can do that as well. Insurance is very easy to, basically you can add at any time. As long as it's not, hey, my car just got in an accident, can I add comp and collision? I need to get the car fixed. Well, yeah, no. But you have to do it before the incident, and then, you have that issue. But that's what I try to tell people. I give them the best advice that I would think of, And then if I don't know it per se, I would try to research it for them and say, let me get back to you.
Brady, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, find you on the interwebs?
You can look at me on Facebook, Wyant Insurance Agency. Also, Brady Wyant is my personal page on there. You can add me as well. My cell phone is 210-374-4001. You can reach me. That's a cell phone number, so you can call, text, emails as well is on there. So if you like my page on Facebook, all you have to do is message me on there as well. It's all connected to my cell phone.
Okay.
So if you want to message me or ask any questions, just give me your name, and I'd be glad to help you out with any advice as well.
Very good. Well, I appreciate you coming in, talking with me, talking about your resource as a insurance professional. Guys, there's tons of realtors out there. There's tons of insurance people out there. Come check us out. Ask us questions that nobody else wants to answer. We're happy to talk with you. It's all about resources and providing you guys with the best thing.
And at the same time, last thing, Google can only give you so many answers. When you talk to an actual human being that's been doing it for years, like us, we can give you, I think, the best advice that we have, which over the time, we've heard a lot of questions. So
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you.
It won't stop.